Yes, people, we are live at the Albert JTV household. Match review time. Arsenal 3, West Ham 1. But before we get into it, people, let's hit the intro. Footballing community, you should know what to do by now. Like, share, and subscribe. Welcome back to Albert JTV. A social media platform. Know what you're talking about. And what I mean by that is goals, ESR and Saka have done well. They've done okay. They've done well. Yes, people, welcome back to Albert JTV for another match review for the 2022-23 season. People, as I always say, actually, before I always say, like I say, Merry Christmas to you all if you haven't got Twitter or Instagram and got my lovely Christmas message. But people, welcome back, man. We had the World Cup, enjoyed it, loved it, did the collaboration with my Tottenham wife, but now we're enemies again because we're back to domestic football. But listen, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, listen, man, back to the Premier League ways. Arsenal content, people. Feels good to be back, to be honest with you. We left before the World Cup. We was 5 points ahead. We're now 7 points ahead at the top of the league. We are sitting pretty and things are looking good. But yeah, we're going to dissect the game for yesterday. London derby. Kieran Tierney comes at left back. Zinchenko on the bench. ESR still not ready, but listen, when he does come back, it'll be like a new player, won't it? You know what? We're seeing a more consistent Arsenal first 11, which wasn't the case for many seasons, whether that's under Mikel Arteta or previous management. But I think consistency and breeds winning, and I think they work hand in hand with a lot of Arsenal's teams. You see them start this season in the first 11 picks. There's good balance there. There's very good balance. We look strong defensively. Our midfield looks very, very set. We look very, very strong. We're scoring goals by committee, by different areas of the pitch. We're not relying on one person. So things are good, man. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to the game yesterday. I wasn't going anyway. Let me make that clear. Then there's a possibility that I could have been going. But then sort of come Christmas Day when I needed to get the confirmation whether I was going or not going. But it's all right. You know, thank God for television. Well, let me go to the chat quickly. Who's in there already? And talking of my Tottenham wife, she has decided to show up in the chat. Now, like I said, Holly, I know you're watching. I know you're listening. Love doing the collaboration with you during the World Cup. Love you to pieces. But we are back to domestic duties. So I hate your guts in the nicest possible way. But no, I love you, Holly. I don't know how your boys done it again yesterday, man. Brentford, Tottenham. First off, I'm not even a Tottenham fan, and I've seen a lot of them performances. That's on the first half. Second half was a great game of football. Firstly, but you got a point. You got there. You just about got there. But listen, we move. But yeah, back to Arsenal duties for Holly distracts me even further. Holly, don't be so naughty. Stop it. I was confident going into that game against West Ham. I didn't think it'd be easy. London derbies never are, to be honest with you. Let me go quickly back to the chat. Oh, they wind me up. Of course we do. All your listeners, we won't be forgotten. I will put this on my Spotify and Anchor so you can listen back to this match review and then have your thoughts. But yeah, I was confident going into this West Ham game. I'll be honest with you. Their record at the Emirates is atrocious, to be honest. They're not having a good Premier League season. They're struggling to score goals. I think before yesterday, they'd only scored 3 Premier League goals away from home this season. That is dreadful. And you look through their 11 West Ham and you think to yourself, I don't know how these guys are where they are in the league, but sometimes in life it is as simple as that. The league table doesn't lie. As we can testify for, by the way, people, as Arsenal fans. But yeah, I was confident we could win. I thought we'd win, but I didn't think we'd keep a clean sheet, and that was the case. But what I've been impressed with Arsenal, I've got to be honest, people, is it's been a long time where I've seen Arsenal start league campaigns or the first run of games, the first few months of the season where we start games well and we're on the front foot. That's becoming a familiar reoccurrence of Arsenal this season. We start games really, really well. Um, you know, sometimes pass teams to death. Yes, there's been times games this season where it's been a little bit, the passing needs to be a bit quicker. But I looked at that game, particularly in the first half yesterday, and I think the only thing we did wrong was not actually putting the ball in the back of the net. But when I sort of rewatched the game a little bit on terms of the highlights after watching it for 90, I don't think we created that many clear-cut chances in the first half. We got into areas of the pitch in West Ham's final third where we would make inroads, whether that be Kieran Tierney on the left, Ben White bombing down the right, the combination plays between Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. We made inroads in terms of getting into their final third, but it was just not creating that killer instinct to get in ahead. And like I said, we started the game well. I think after about 20 minutes, we was like 71% possession, which is dominant. It's very dominant. West Ham tried to penetrate us down our left-hand side, in particular, Jarrod Bowen going one-on-one against Kieran Tierney. But I don't think we let up many opportunities. But then they got the goal. When I watched it in real time, I did think it was a penalty from what I saw in real time. But then I kind of switched my train of thought to how could we have prevented that from happening? And Gabriel goes to win the header, doesn't win the header. Then it's a knock-on effect, domino effect, as I think Thierry Henry sort of spoke about in the first half analysis on Prime. Because when Saliba's come across, I thought he was going to cut it out. But then I think he's had a split second where he thought, you know what? If I go and try and win this ball, I'm not going to make it. So he quickly retreated, got caught with Bowen, penalty, and then we go 1-0 down. And I think what another good thing about Arsenal this season is when we do go a goal down, there's not panic. The fans in the stadium, the atmosphere at the Emirates has been brilliant for quite a while now, and they're really homing in and getting behind the team. We've had a couple of occasions where we've gone goals down and we've come back, but we didn't panic. We kept pressing, we kept passing. I thought that the sort of the slight opportunities we had in the first half, I think there was one in particular with me with Eddie Nketiah where I think it was the rollout from Aaron Ramsdale and we went on the counter. Now, for me, I looked at that and I think Henry said it at half time. Then I thought it in real time, you've got to take that on your left foot and take the defender to his right, because you'll get a better chance of getting a shot off. But once he's cut back inside and tried to bend it in the bottom corner or to the goalkeeper's left, the shot got blocked. But there was another opportunity in the first half as well. But yeah, it was a weird one because I can't have been too critical of Arsenal, to be honest with you, in that first half. It wasn't like it was poor passages of play or West Ham hit us on the counter 100 million times. It wasn't a case that they got the break with the goal. And we're going down at half time 1-0 down. So yeah, it's bits to think about. A big 45 minutes in that change room. But let me go to the chat quickly. Let me see. Oh, Holly's in there again. Holly, we laugh at. Melvin, good morning, Mels, man. Morning, man. How you got a good Christmas, man? Did we play the ball across our back four too much? Melvin, it's a very relevant point. It's a very relevant point. And I'll tell you why. Because what game did we play? I'm trying to think what game it was, mate. There are too many times, and it actually reminds me of England a little bit, mate, to be honest, with there's too much sometimes for me. And I don't think it's nitpicking, Melvin. I think you're spot on, mate. Like, we do pass the ball between centre backs to centre midfielders who pop it out to the fullbacks a little bit too much. Yes, you can talk about it from a point of view where it's patient build-up play, and it is, because that's the way Arteta wants us to play, to build from the back. But there's times when you can pass just for the sake of passing, and I think it's something that it's a fine balance. I get you don't want to turn the ball over too quickly. I get teams want to press you high, which they do. Or sometimes in Arsenal case, a lot of teams sit off because they're happy for us to have the ball. But now, Melvin, it's a relevant point, mate. It is. I saw it a lot of England, to be honest with you, in the World Cup. Too much backwards passing, or passing for the sake of passing. But yeah, listen, there wasn't a lot Arsenal did wrong in that first half, to be honest with you. Not that I thought. Like I said, we had the 6-week break. You might say people are rusty and this and that, but I think because some of the players came back from the World Cup unscathed. Unfortunately, if you're Gabriel Jesus, you're out until probably end of February. I think it is they're talking about. But listen, these guys are sort of they're within sort of that part of the season where they've got quite a few games behind them, and they're in a period of the season where they're as fresh as they can be, if that makes sense. But listen, yeah, so we're going 1-0 down, man. Definitely against a run of play, because like I said, I don't think West Ham created bundles of opportunities, but Erdegaard was very instrumental in that first half. He was getting in those areas. There were points in the first half. I don't know what you guys think. Listen to this now, watching this on Facebook Live, or if you watch this back, listen to back on the audio. With Martin Erdegaard, there was an opportunity in the first half where we was literally in their penalty box, and he tried to square a ball. I think it was to Martinelli, and I thought you have to take the shot on there yourself. And I think he needs to start doing that a lot more. He needs to, if you take a roasting from your teammates because if they feel they're in a better position, so be it. But you're the captain, lead. If the shot is on, you take it on. 20 yards, 15 yards, 18 yards, you take the shot on. Because he's always in them areas of the final third where you think to yourself, you need to shoot more. You do need to shoot more. Yes, he plays some beautiful reverse passes in the first half. Great interplay with particularly with Bukayo Saka, because they've got a really good relationship actually. But second half, listen, what you want when you're at home, London Derby, is you want to see intensity, and that kind of shone through for me, particularly in the second half, within that sort of first 5-10 minutes. We continued from where we left in the first half, and I think that was good to see. Listen, we're a goal down at home. The crowd are not on our backs. Just trying to find where my graphics are. There they are. And yeah, it was key. It was really, really key. The first goal, we get it back to 1-1. It's crazy because it actually does go down as a Martin Erdegaard assist. When you can clearly see it was a shot at goal. But listen, if we're gonna argue about things like that, then like we need to get a life, man. Seriously. But no, if we got the goal, I think it was at 52 minutes. I think it was we got the goal to go 1-1. And then I thought the game really, 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 really got a bit spicy, man. It really, really did. It was the intensity, the crowd was getting up, there were a few tackles flying in. I was like, you know what? Arsenal really, really on it now. And Saka gets the goal. Listen, great first touch, by the way, from the Martin Odegaard shot, stroke assist. But yeah, great touch, man. And then we make it 1-1. And listen, I thought we was the better team in the first half anyway. And I thought we improved even more in the start of the second half. Really, really good passages of play. I thought Saka, particularly in the second half, was excellent. I thought he had Aaron Cress. I thought he gave Aaron Cress all sorts of problems. They tried to double up on him, but it didn't really work because Ben White was giving him that option of going outside him or coming inside of Bukayo Saka. But listen, one thing we've always said with Arsenal is that we need to share the workload in terms of getting more goals into this side. And we're doing that. So, you know, Saka's got on the score sheet again yesterday. Martinelli's got on the score sheet again. Listen, sometimes in life, you just have to shoot. Listen, I don't care if Fabianski got beat on his near post. Who cares? We go 2-1 up. And listen, we deserved it. I think there's a character and a resilience in this side and these group of players that I've not seen for many a year. I have to be honest. We're going goals down. We're getting behind the team. We're not panicking. We're creating opportunities. We look dangerous. We've got pace in the side. We've got guile. We've got some physicality in there, particularly with our centre backs. We've got height. Nearly almost kind of every basis of your first 11 in terms of a playing style is covered. Um, the issue might be is that we might not have enough numbers. So January can rectify that. But yeah, there's a really good balance with this side, man. Yeah, we go 2-1 up. And from that, I kind of thought we looked even more in control. Martin Odegaard again was just he was excellent in that second half. He I think with him, for me, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. He's obviously got talent. He's a very gifted footballer. He's got great touch. He's got great vision. Sees the pass before he even hits the pass. What I want to see is that form replicated in away games. I don't think he does it enough away from home. What you don't want is a situation where you had with Mesut Ozil, where the guy would play well at home, but away from home, not so effective, little bit of a passenger, not dictating games, not controlling games. But listen, we've got a lot more games this season, so that will come. That will absolutely come. But listen, love this kid Martinelli, man. Picture of him on the screen now as I got him on audio listeners. But yeah, listen, getting that goal 2-1. West Ham struggling to score goals, not won many games of football. 1-0 up, 1-1, 2-1. The game's in our hands. Absolutely. So Martinelli gets on the score sheet again. I think that is his sixth Premier League goal this season. If that's correct, people drop me in the chat if that's correct or not, but I'm sure it is. I think probably him and Saka probably might have similar numbers. I'm not too sure. I'll have to double check that. But like I said, Martin Odegaard was excellent. I mean that the nutmeg on Paquetá. Wow! I said, Jesus Christ, man, flipping hell, beautiful bit of skill. Like I said, very very influential, and you guys know it. For those of you guys that are on social media and on the Twitter platform in particular, which is very vocal on there within our fan base, this guy cops a lot of opinion, man. And Martin Odegaard. I think some people have a bit of a bee in their bonnet about the captaincy thing. I think a lot of it comes down to it's people's narratives, isn't it? There's people that will take their time out of their day to go and look at comparison sites and stats about what he does in regards to other midfielders and all this. And I just think to myself, if you've got time to be doing that, then quite clearly for me, it's a bit of an agenda, to be honest with you, because you got to judge it for me as an Arsenal fan watching the games, what he's doing on the pitch. Because if you're going to keep going down the route of what other players are doing, the likes of Maddison or this attacking player, that attacking player, comparing this and that, he doesn't concern himself with that. He played well yesterday. He's my man of the match, to be honest with you. As much as I love Saka, and there were some very good performances, of which I'll come into a bit later. But yeah, Martin Odegaard, listen, man. I think the only criticism for me with him, as I said it before many, many times, I'm not going to change my tune on it. He gets himself into very good areas, and I think he needs to be a little bit more selfish and take the shot on, get the shot off. You're 18 yards, 15 yards from goal, take the shot. Stop trying to play a slide rule pass. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you have the ability to do it, but sometimes just take the flipping shot on. Just take it on, man. You could do it, man. And listen, the third goal, listen, man, team goal, capital letters, beautiful goal, great bit of work by Ben White in particular during that. And I think with the first, it was with the Saka goal. Sorry, in regards to Thomas Partey, he doesn't get a mention for nicking the ball, Declan Rice. But let's fast forward back to the third goal. Beautiful team goal, beautiful team goal, and really, really pleased for Eddie Nketiah, man, because. Actually, let me come on to him. I've kind of come into him at a good time. Now, anybody that's seen my content or listened to it on the audio, or when I'm asked about Eddie Nketiah, listen, whether he's got a future career at Arsenal, Whether he's gonna, sorry, let me rephrase that. If he's gonna make best of the fact that he's been given an opportunity at Arsenal in terms of the contract extension and getting more game time, that's up to him to take that opportunity, with obviously Jesus being out in particular for a good couple of months. And even when Jesus was in, when he does get his chance, it's up to him to take his opportunity. What I don't really understand with Arsenal fans is, and like I say, sections, which is the key word, is we had the World Cup on, right? No Arsenal games, no Premier League games. This guy was still getting it from Arsenal fans. Arsenal not playing no games of football. We have the World Cup on, and this guy's still getting it in the neck from Arsenal fans. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm his biggest fan, but I can take a step back and not absolutely slaughter the guy during a World Cup tournament. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. We're not even playing. Now we're back. I'll give you an example. Yeah, I'll give you an example of Eddie. Great goal, by the way. I thought it was a beautiful turn. Whether the defender got sold too easily, I don't care. Great turn, great finish in the bottom corner pass, Fabianski. But this is what I don't understand, right? And I don't know if you guys saw it. I saw it. I definitely saw it on the timeline. Probably about an hour after the game, right through till me actually doing this live podcast now. I see people tweeting he's not good enough. We can't rely on Eddie. He didn't really do much. And I think to myself, sometimes in life for me, it's about timing. Now, if you thought that was the best thing that could have come out of your mouth as an Arsenal fan, to say he's not good enough, or Eddie's not the one for us, or he's not the main, I don't think he can cut the mustard or whatever, give your head a wobble. We've had a 6-week break. We've gone 1-0 down. We've played well throughout the 90 minutes. I think it was like 71% possession after 15 minutes. I think stat-wise, end of the game, we were 67%. So it only dropped off by 4%. We were dominant. Yes, there's things to me he could have done better in the first half in terms of taking an opportunity to get a shot off. But he did score a great goal. And the best thing you can turn around and say as an Arsenal fan is, I don't have faith in him. It blows my mind. I don't know what do you want? Should he have scored a hat-trick yesterday? Should we have only won 2-1? He doesn't score. He has a stinker. Like, I don't, sometimes in just, it's timing. I think sometimes, I don't know whether people have not had enough Christmas dinner, whether they're hungry, or you just got people. Listen, we had a World Cup, people were moaning then. Oh, it's disturbing. Arsenal season disrupting. We're top of the league. We're back now. The Premier League's back. Arsenal played great 3 points, beat West Ham. Still moaning. After the win, an hour after the game, you still see negativity with some fans. What do you want? What do you want? Tell me. The guy scores a goal. Good goal. Hour after the game, Eddie's not the man. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what's wrong with some people. I generally don't. But yeah, let me come to the chat quickly. Let me see. God, there's a lot of stuff in the chat. Wilson, big up to you, man. Big up to you. I know Wilson, remind me where you're from again, man. Give you a shout out, my friend. Right, let me go to the chat quickly and we'll come back to it. Let me see. Let me go through the chat quickly. Audio listeners, bear with me. Melvin, him taking a shot led to our equalizer. There you go, mate. Wilson, good morning, man. Much love to you, brother. Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year when it does come. Also shown a lot of resilience and character. Our football was absolutely brilliant at times against West Ham last night. It was great character. And the thing is, Wilson, it's not the first time this season we've gone 1 goal behind. So I'm pleased for Eddie. Listen, did I think he's going to be at the club probably the start of the season? But I think this is what people need to understand, right? And it's not about whether you like Eddie Nketiah or not. Let me make this clear. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that absolutely idolize, worship Mikel Arteta. They do. Fanboys, fangirls, what you want to call them, right? So Mikel Arteta has massive, massive, massive faith in Eddie Nketiah. He does. So are you only going to support Mikel when, I don't know what, he doesn't play Eddie? Or are you going to feel different about Mikel Arteta because he plays him? Like, what way do you want it? He's got mad faith in Eddie Nketiah. He has. So Listen, we're in a situation now where Gabriel Jesus is out for a couple of months. Eddie's gonna have to step up. And I liked his answer on Prime Video when he was interviewed by was it Gabriel Clark, when Gabriel Clark made, put the question to him about, do you feel the pressure because Jesus is out? Eddie Nketiah just said, look, it's always pressure to play for Arsenal. And I thought it was a simple and brilliant answer. It's always pressure to play for our great club. End of discussion. Let me go to chat again quickly. Wilson, Arsenal now 7 points clear Newcastle. Also, we are also 8 points clear Man City. This is absolutely massive, and huge pressure is on Newcastle and Man City. And you know what it is? It ties in nicely with the fact that what we got Man City on February the 15th, which I will be going to. Buzzing, I got the ticket for that. Newcastle, I'm still trying to get a ticket for. That's, you know what? That's one game I pinpointed a few months ago. I said, you know what? That's going to be a tasty game, because with the way Newcastle ended last season and the way they started this season, Eddie Howe's got them playing fantastic. You've got some good players there. And I think as well, you've got to remember as well with Newcastle, it's not just a case of, yes, they've got the money behind them and to bring in players, but a lot of their players are Premier League proven anyway. Callum Wilson's been around for a while. Kieran Trippier's been around for a while. Dan Burns been around for a while. Fabian Schär's been there for a while. And these are players, with the exception, I think, of Trippier, is it? That are not Eddie Howe's. Well, Dan Burn as well. Yeah, but they're Premier League. They're Premier League proven, and they've played in English football for a while. So some of them have already been here. Yes, you've added Bruno Guimaraes to it. Almiron's been there for a few years. He's been. I don't know what's happened to him. He's been amazing for Newcastle this season. Miguel Almiron, unbelievable. But yeah, we've got some big games of football, man. Brighton away New Year's Eve is going to be tough. We're tricky. Not a ground that we've done particularly very well there in recent years. But listen, the way we're playing at the moment, why should we fear anybody? Why should we go there and be confident and go and take them on? They're a good side, Brighton, a very good side. It's a tricky game. Wilson in the comments again. I'm not Eddie's biggest fan. However, we need to get behind him. Come on, man. Yeah, listen, Wilson, Melvin, whoever's in the chat, watches live now. Some of the stuff I was seeing on the socials, I think some people need to get a hobby. Seriously, man, because I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I generally don't understand it. Yeah, glass half empty mentality. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Some of the stuff I've seen. I had to go through some of the stuff I saw on the Twitter line. I've got to be honest. I just started unfollowing some people. I just thought, you know what? I don't want to see it. Like with one, we played well. Eddie scored. I think his actual Premier League record actually in recent games is pretty decent. From the stat that was flying around, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, let me come to Wilson's comment quick. I believe that Gunners need a striker, winger, 1-2 midfielders, and the left side is centre back to add more quality and depth to our squad. Now, the left side of centre back is a good shout, because I mentioned it a few months ago, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans have. Like, I think that's the reason why Gabriel has played the games he's played in the Europa League, for example, because we don't have, for me, that cover at left side is centre back at Arsenal. We don't. There's been some name flying around, which we're gonna go into overdrive come January. But yeah, listen, the striker one's interesting, Wilson, and people in the chat. Because there's what I would say to Arsenal fans, and they might not want to hear this, all right, but just bear with me. Arsenal might not buy a striker. Now, if the links are true, we saw Fabrizio Romano tweeted yesterday at about, I think it's about 7:20, that Arsenal submitted a bid to get Mykhailo Mudryk. Now, Arsenal got a couple options, because obviously Jesus is going to be out for a few months. Now, I think, and I do think he could play there, if you're not going to, if Eddie's not going to be week in, week out, then I think you move Martinelli down the middle. And if you're going to bring in the likes of Mykhailo Mudryk, who, from what I've seen, looks a flipping good player, from what I've seen, he could play wide left. So you have more options there. So I think the Martinelli experiment down the middle, I think you could see that this season, because there's enough flexibility in Arsenal's forward line for that to happen. So if they don't buy an out and out striker as such, in inverted commas, I think that's a possibility that they might look at playing Martinelli down this middle. If Eddie doesn't play there week in, week out, for example. That's not a bad thing. Like I said, we need goals by committee because we spent too much time when we had the likes of Emmerich and when we had the Bamiyang here and to being too reliant on him and goals not coming from other areas. And listen, defensively as well, we're getting goals from other areas. Defensively. Shout out to Ben White. Again, superb. I did a piece on him before Christmas with my guys. G Talks and also my boy JC Arsenal Analyzed. He was excellent. I saw a little highlight reel of his performance yesterday, Ben White, and he got round on the cover well. He supported Arsenal's attacks defensively in his position. His part of the pitch, he was excellent. We know he's got very good distribution. So yeah, listen, people know my thoughts about Ben White. I'm a big fan of his. Big fan of his. Going to come to Wilson again. Question: do you think that getting Felix on loan and spending 55 million plus for Mudryk makes a lot of sense? With the João Felix links, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I think he was rumored with I think I saw. I don't know if I saw this right. I thought he was linked with potentially. I think they said Madrid, Real Madrid. I don't know if that was definite, but with certain players, Wilson, yeah, I've got to be honest as an Arsenal fan, and people will vouch for this. I don't really pay a lot of attention to it because I think some of the players linked with Arsenal, it's so far wide off the mark. It's laughable. So I can't see that happening. The Mudryk one seems like that's got a lot more legs behind it because if the likes of Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano are going to break that type of news, then you know it's a hardcore link. You understand? But when you come up with, some people say like FIFA names like João Felix and certain other players, it's like, are Arsenal really going to go for someone like that, especially in January? Don't see it happening. But the Mudryk one, we need to just see how that one goes. He's a very, very good player, and from the noise you're hearing, he's quite keen on the move to Arsenal. And from when you've got a player who's keen on the move to a club, that's almost half the battle won. Listen, we're not agents. We don't broker deals. We're not Richard Garlick. You know, we're not these players' agents. But when a player is keen on the move, particularly to the Premier League, and it just goes to show, look, we ain't won anything this season yet, right? You don't get prizes in late December, early January, right? Let's have it right. But when you're doing well, when you talk of the town, when people take you seriously, that's why I put in the title for the show. I put in, people are it sends a message. So we had the break for the World Cup. We come back, we put in a performance like that. It sends a message to the rivals. Arsenal are not going anywhere. And I think Thierry Henry made a good point actually on Prime with when he was there with Enya Luko and Scott Parker. And he talked about people are looking at Arsenal now. Don't want to play them. It's true. It's very, very true. Home or away, they don't want to play us. I think we're the only team to go to Brentford and win at their stadium. It's a tough place to go. We went there and we won. I think it is, and it's true. People probably came to the Emirates, or when they played us at their grounds, loved playing us. Thought they could bully us. Thought they could intimidate us. Thought they could put one over us. It's not the case now. It's a different Arsenal. And the more Arsenal continue to win games, the more they continue to play the good football that they're playing, the more they continue to, 40, we're safe from relegation anyway, we've got 40 points now. Goal difference of plus 24, is it? I think 2 behind City. I think City are like plus 26. We've got a defense we can rely on or feel a bit more comfortable with. Where's the downside? Arsenal fans will find some because it's what they do. But listen, it's all good at the moment. But let me come back to the chat quickly. Wilson again. Arsenal not going anywhere in the title race. We have sent a massive message to our rivals. Yeah, it's true. And I think because of the World Cup break and the 6 weeks and and Arsenal come back and win, and they come back and win in the way they did, it does send a message. It does. I think yesterday, I think they were saying there was a stat flying around. No home team won their game yesterday, apart from Arsenal. Trust us to buck the trend. I'm not disappointed, to be honest with you. People, smash the like button. Subscribe to Albert JTV. I'm going to go for a quick little intro break, and we're going to wrap up soon. So, people, if you don't know what to do by now, this is what you should do. And there you have it once again, people. Audio listeners, that was a nice little intro into subscribing to Albert JTV. Smash the like button, people, on Facebook, on the Twitter page, retweet, and also on the YouTube channel. Smash the like button and drop your comments down below. But yeah, people, man, listen, really, really good game of football, actually. I thought it was a really good game of football. I think what you're going to see with Arsenal a lot is, how can I put this? You're going to see a lot of teams set up 2 banks of 4, keep it really, really tight, and not come out and play against us unless you're a Man City or probably even a Liverpool, for example. You're just not gonna see it. But let me quick, all the listeners, I just got a picture of the stats from yesterday. Like I said, Arsenal 67% possession, 16 shots at goal, 5 on target, 7 corners, 13 fouls. Like I said, after 15 minutes, we were 71% possession. So it's only dropped off by 4%. That just shows how dominant we were. And I kind of saw the interviews with Declan Rice and David Moyes after the game, and you didn't really see anything to say, oh, you know what, Arsenal didn't deserve it, or Arsenal would have better. They knew Arsenal were brilliant yesterday. I thought it was really, really good after such a long break. But really, really impressed. But people, listen, people in the chat, thank you for tuning in. Smash a like I said. And yeah, people, drop your comments down below what you thought of the game. My man of the match was Martin Odegaard. Great performances by Ben White. I thought Thomas Partey was solid again. Brilliant. Saka was, in that second half in particular, was exceptional. Goals again from Saka and Martinelli. Listen, goals by committee, man. Listen, Arsenal need to keep this up. Like I said, we've got some run of games. We've got United in January. We have Tottenham in January. We have Brighton on New Year's Eve. So yeah, we've got some tough games coming up, man. But listen, bring it on. Nobody gives the league title out in January. So if Arsenal was serious, listen, a lot of Arsenal fans won't have seen Arsenal win a league title, depending when you was born. I've been lucky enough to go through, if Melvin's in the chat, I'm not even sure if he is, but if he is, myself or Melvin and other people have been lucky enough to see Arsenal win a league title in the old First Division. We've been lucky enough to see Arsenal win a league title in the Premier League era. A lot of Arsenal fans haven't seen that. So Arsenal, listen, keep it going, give them that joy. And by the way, that if anybody hasn't seen the Monday Night Football sit down with Jamie Carragher and Mikel Arteta, I suggest you go and watch it. I thought it was a brilliant watch. It was an excellent watch. I thought the questions asked by Carragher were excellent. And if anybody wants even more of an insight into Mikel Arteta, definitely go and watch that. But as I said, people, it's been great to get back to doing Arsenal content. I think this is my first Arsenal content back since I think Nottingham Forest was our last game before the World Cup, wasn't it? We've been beaten 5-0. So it's great to be back, especially when Arsenal win like that and play the football they'd play, and top of the league. And listen, need a little bit more help in January. Let's be honest, we do. Because if we get a couple more injuries, it's going to be very, very ropey. But at the moment, like I said, 7 points clear, great football, scoring goals. Defensively, we look really, really good. So yeah, onwards and upwards. So people, you'll see me soon. I'll probably do the match review on the day of the Brighton game, because I think it's a 5:30 kickoff, isn't it? So I might do it the same night, actually. So that's probably you'll next see me doing Arsenal content. I'll be appearing tonight on the same old Arsenal at 8 o'clock. Yes, with Amanda, Suburban, Chris, and Cookie. So looking forward to it, man, to dissecting Arsenal's fantastic win. Big up, Anthony, man. Just got to log off, mate. But people, Like I said, drop your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop your comments and talk about anything and everything about Arsenal. And I will see you soon for a match review for Brighton. If I can find my outro, there it is. So, people, enjoy the rest of your festive period. Eat loads of food, drink plenty of wine or soft drink, whatever you're into. And I will speak to you soon. Albert JTV is over and out, people. See you soon.